Look at this. Hey, what's going on everybody? Mala here. How you guys doing today? And we're back at audio with a beautiful pair of headphones. Today we're taking a look at these. These are the Drop and Fostex TR-X00. And Drop, being the good lads that they are, or lasses, they did send this in for review. But at the peril of sounding like a broken record, it doesn't affect my review in any way. So let's just jump on ahead and talk about the closed back pair of headphones that has been glued to my head ever since I got them out of the box. Starting with price, because budget. And this thing is coming in at 520 bucks. But it's also a high-tier, high-end headphone that's comparable to stuff like much more expensive than it, such as the Fostex TH-900s, that the similarities between them are sort of uncanny, almost. So if you are into audio stuff and you don't think the 520 bucks is an instant turn-off, take notes, because by the end of this video, you are probably going to want one of these for yourself. Now, these are closed back headphones. Now, I've seen a bunch of people, because of the soundstage they produce, which isn't like super wide, it's not like an open pair of headphones, it's just very well defined and it is there and it's spacious enough. Because of that, I've seen a bunch of people talking about them as semi-opened or semi-closed, but they are not. They're just closed. Want to see? Want to see? Just... Huh? See that? Closed. And it's good that this is a closed pair because they are extremely efficient at 25 ohms and 94 dB of sensitivity, which means that you can drive these things with basically anything from your smartphone to, well, anything. They will benefit from a good DAC and amp, obviously, just like any headphone ever. Every single headphone will always benefit from a good DAC and amp. These are no different. Drop even has a photo of a dude in a tram or train sort of scenario on their site using these things like in public, which only sort of exacerbates the fact that for the price there's only this single like huge infinite cable in the box, and again a 1/4 inch plug with no 3.5mm adapter for it. So you can run it through your phone, you just need a very specific dongle, because if your phone comes with a dongle, it's not going to be a 1/4 inch dongle at that. But at least we can take solace and comfort with the fact that the cable is removable. That's why it's named TR-X00. The R stands for removable. So the cable is removable in case you ever want to spring a little extra for a custom cable that it's not long enough to tie a family of 6 to a tree. Now, all jokes aside, which is hard, the actual cable is really good. It's braided, so it takes a little bit of extra persuasion to be straightened out, and it does have a tendency to, kink rather easily, but it is a good cable and the plug is beautiful. It's probably going to outlast the actual headphones by a couple of thousand years. And that's not to say that the headphones are not premiumly built. That's not the case. These are very well constructed and they are pretty hefty too, coming in at 550 grams, just for the headphones, and over actually almost 600 with the cables. So yeah, they're heavy, and from the looks of it, it's sort of easy to see that there isn't that much padding on the headband, which means that they're probably going to be a little heavy and uncomfortable for long usages, as well as probably the clamping force is going to be a little tighter to accommodate the headphone using those thick pads, right? Wrong, because the Ebony here had different plans. There is basically no clamping force. This thing is like rather super loose on your head. Once you find that fit, it's going to be really comfortable, and that weight is sort of gonna melt away as you're listening to stuff, and you're probably gonna forget that you're wearing heavy headphones on your head just as much as you would forget a pair of very light headphones. That's how comfy this can be. And again, the leatherette pads are so fluffy, and they have like very thick extra padding behind your ears to help accommodate the correct, usage of the headphone. But do not believe the lies of the photos that you see around the internet, even on Drop's site, with people using the headphones with the headband like here on your head. It may just be my OCD talking here, but the most comfortable way I found to actually wear these is with them at an angle so that the Fostex logo is parallel to the ground. And that's super chill to do because you can rotate the pads very easily, as well as you can remove them very easily. It's just like a simple twist. And since this is a $520 investment, you should take good care of it. So take out the pads, clean them up, and then put them back on. It's not going to kill you to do that once in a while. Now again, the headband isn't super cushiony, but it's flexible enough so that you're going to accommodate pretty much any head size, and it's not uncomfortable on your head. And again, you are definitely going to have an easy time finding a fit with this particular design. Even I, with my big ass head, don't exactly, open up all the way the rails on both sides. Well, I do, but just because they are so satisfying that I'm kind of torn between this and bubble wrap. Now, the drivers are 50mm biodynamic transducer cones that have been developed by Fostex in like the 80s, and they are super interesting for reasons we are not going to discuss now because it has to do with sound and that comes later. And closing the drivers are the beautiful ebony wood ear cups. These look so good, and they do add a certain texture to the sound. It's a very good combination. Unfortunately, because of how dark they are, up close you can see the wood grains and you can appreciate the fact that this is real wood. But when you go a little bit further away, it starts to get just like, black glossy plastic. It kind of doesn't seem fair to the design and the materials, And again, on the topic of wood adding a certain texture to the sound, the fact that the ebony sounds different from the Purple Heart and the mahogany versions is indication enough that if you change that material for plastic or glass or metal, it's definitely going to drastically change the sound signature of this headphone. And this particular sound signature of the ebony one is oh so good. We're getting there. And thus far in the video, I have only complained about the cable. So this is my chance to actually talk to you guys about something else that bothers me rather a lot with the build on the ebony. These hinges on the ear cups, actually no, every hinge on this build is way too loose. And if it wasn't for that, the only thing I would be saying about the build is that it is excellent. Like, I love the materials. It's premium all around. It's all over. All the metal, the leather, the wood. You can't really complain. I love the materials and the construction. My only point of concern is that hinge that I don't even know if it's going to break or not because it is made of metal and seems pretty sturdy. But the fact that it just, flips around on its own because it doesn't have any resistance, it scares me a little bit. And we finally get to sound. Now, you guys already know that I like this headphone, right? You're aware of that. And you also know that I don't like bassy headphones, and I am not a fan of closed back headphones because they are usually a little more bassy. And they don't do soundstage very well. Even when imaging is like spot on, they feel claustrophobic. Now, the Ebonies do all that, all of it, all the good stuff. It does all of that. Yes, it packs quite a bit more punch than something like the 58X Jubilees back there, but it's not overpowering. Absolutely everything presented on this headphone is crystal clear and just like a joy to listen to. And those biodynamic transducer drivers are so exceptionally fast that the delivery of every frequency from 5 to 45,000 hertz is basically impeccable. Yes, because it hits you harder with the bass, it can give you the impression that the high end is a little less pronounced, maybe even muddied up like a little bit. But that's not really the case. It's not a lack in the high-end department, it's just that it has more bass than something like the Jubilees, for example. Plus, there is no sibilance, no dips, nothing that would make the sound feel weird. And because of that speed, especially the low end, the bass response is extremely fast without muddying the field, and you can still hear everything. You can embrace and take advantage of that extra punch because it makes stuff feel more lively without losing in any of the details on everything else. And because of that, the whole sound feels more complete. It feels full. It feels fun. And actually, that's it. That's the most important thing. Listening to anything on this headphone is so much fun. It's not trying to have the biggest soundstage of all. It's not trying to have the most impressive imaging, but it does deliver everything very, very, very well. And all that while being fun and enjoyable and comfortable and pretty and well built and easy as to drive. Movies, music, YouTube, gaming, oh yeah, gaming. Editing, even editing, I do not care that these are not neutral and flat as an ironing board. They are fun and enjoyable, and they have made me happy on all those scenarios ever since I got them in the studio. That's why it's been the only thing I've listened to for pleasure on my setup since it got here. Are they perfect? Nope. There's always room for improvement, especially with the cable and that hinge thing. But there are always trade-offs, right? These could have been, they could have come with the most perfect, glorious cable of all, and the perfect hinges, and the build could be absolutely 10 out of 10 flawless. But then again, they could fault in what's more important since these are headphones, which is sound. And thankfully, it sounds really, really flipping good. It absolutely is worth the $520 price tag. Matter of fact, I would say that just like the Jubilees and the SHPs 9500 back there, they do fight in a tier a little bit above what they actually cost. But on top of that, Drop right now has a bunch of special discounts for a lot of high-end gear going on their site, including these guys. So now you can grab an Ebony for $200 off, which is a absolute steal. I'm gonna leave all the links to the good stuff down below in the description, as well as a couple of exclusive discounts that Drop set up for viewers of the channel that if you guys already follow me on Instagram and Twitter, you may have already seen them, but I'll leave them down below again. So if you're into audio, this is probably one of the best deals you're probably gonna get on something like this. So okay, to close off the video, which has been going on for too long already, I'd just say that it doesn't matter if you personally don't like closed back headphones. And it also doesn't matter if you're not into bassy stuff. I really do believe that you should give yourself the opportunity to be surprised by these guys. They're just that's what they are. And that's been it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, so leave any comments or suggestions down below as usual if you're feeling like it. Do all the things, all the buttons, hit all the stuff. It's YouTube, you guys know what to do, and it does help the channel, so if you can, go ahead and smash and click and hit. And thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.